Welcome, gaming enthusiasts, to the Couch Co-op podcast, where we're calling in the full six packs for a high-stakes board meeting where the future of the couch will be decided. Afterwards, get ready to cringe as we reveal our picks for the top 3 worst gaming controllers ever unleashed on the gaming world. From awkward designs to button-mashing nightmares, these controllers are sure to make you sweat like a power glove. And of course, it wouldn't be a Couch Co-op podcast with our beloved Lord Beerstro, who will grace us with his presence and his beer battle expertise. 2 brews will enter and 1 will leave. But wait, there's possibly more. In Aaron's possible mobile minute, we'll take a quick detour into the world of mobile gaming, where Aaron will possibly have the latest updates, game recommendations, and trends to keep you entertained on the go. So grab your favorite controller. The Couch Co-op podcast starts now.
For the win.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show. Your open invitation to yell at your stupid opinions while... Wait, I totally fucked up that joke. Your open invitation to yell at our stupid opinions while you are stuck in traffic. If you are new to the podcast or have found us by mistake, grab a beer and get comfortable. If you're a longtime listener, once again, seek help. I'm Ian, and I have Jared, Dave, Nick, John. Hopefully we'll get Aaron on the couch
hopefully Aaron
tonight.
will pop in.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
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 I went
Yeah.
from one beige room to another.
You did.
Yeah, sweet.
Woo.
Nice to see you in a brand new beige room. That's great.
Yeah, they have this thing called paint. It allows you to make things non-beige.
Probably needs permission for that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, then you have to repaint a rental after, like, before you move. No
now,
thanks.
now I'm curious because like that's your little office room. Like, where's Sejoya's desk? Is like to your right? Yeah, so it's way over here. Gotcha. So you just like
Right.
this is like your gaming room / your office / it's like all the things. It's catch all.
Yeah.
Nice. Well
All the
played.
small
Production
things.
room.
Well played.
Great.
Sweet. Yeah, so we got a bunch of things going on. I really hope Aaron shows up because like it's Aaron's topic tonight. But I guess we'll find out. Before we get started, there was something I wanted to say. Oh, this is just like off the this is like a fun little tidbit that I'm always trying to get like Nick to like put PlayStation Remote Play on his like tablet and then sync up a controller to it. Dude, my wife did that. Bryn did that on her own. So she's been upstairs playing
Great.
ESO, like building her house and doing grinding stuff. Yeah, so she figured that out and she's kind of in love with it. So
Awesome.
So Nick, you got to give it a shot, dude. It's super easy.
What does she have? Just out of curiosity.
Just I don't know. I don't know what iPad it is. It's an old iPad. It's like a few years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we've had it for a while. And then she syncs a PS4 controller up to it. She tried the backbone on her phone and she's like, "Yeah, screen's too small." And it's like, "Well, you could do it on your iPad." And she's like, and just ask Jared or Google like how do you sync your controller to it. But PS4 Remote Play actually tells you how to do it.
Oh, okay. That's
So you
cool.
don't have to. It'll literally tell you how to do it. So
Nice.
so yeah, if you have iPads.
And that was your Ian's mobile minute.
Yeah, it's not a mobile minute. I just thought it was fun, like
Mobile second.
a mobile second. I just, it's just kind of a cool thing that you can, if
Mobile tidbit.
you're in bed and you want to play some video games or something. Anyway,
Mm.
I thought it was fun that Bryn figured it out and did it herself, and I thought it was cool. Anyway, yeah, let's get to the Beerstro. Let's continue on this Oktoberfest octagon battle.
I mean, this is going to be a weird tournament. I've figured because I don't want to have to buy any more beer because it'll make this go too long. But But as for
Oktoberfest is
tonight-
already over, dude.
Well, what are you talking about? It's October right now.
Oh man, it's over. Winter beers are out.
I know places that are
That's
doing
fine.
Oktoberfest in October. Weird.
Man.
Yeah.
How passe.
The weather's still too nice for winter beers, so there's that. But that's my opinion, and I'll stick to it. Anyway, tonight I've got the old standard. Well, I don't know if it's an old standard, but it's an old beer, Widmer's Octo, and it is going up against. And I'm gonna have trouble with this. Zeugelhaus. Did I pronounce that correctly? Does anybody?
I know it's
No,
Zeugel,
Ace
so
one
Zeugel
one.
Haas, I'd imagine is correct.
Zeugelhaus. Okay. Yeah, it's going up against their Oktoberfest. I've never had any of their beers before, so
What?
this will be
Wow.
Yeah. So this will be interesting, and hopefully,
I mean, for the most part,
pleasant for
two
me.
Portland breweries, even though Widmer isn't really Portland anymore. But
yeah, it's Canadian, eh?
eh,
Hey.
eh.
But- This is kind of an old or beer that I've always loved from back in the day. But I'm always kind of curious because it's probably one of the only Oktoberfest beers that is actually an ale, not a lager.
Huh.
Never understood why. Maybe Jared could help me figure that out since he actually probably sold it years ago. Or do you even know?
Back in the day, a few bars would have it on tap, but that's about it. And it took them a long time to go through.
Yeah, I always
So-
noticed it was kind of a slower seller, so
Yeah.
I guess it just seemed like I was probably the only one that actually liked it.
I'm surprised they've kept it around so long. You know, it's
Well, for a while they actually stopped bottling it, and it was kind of a keg only package, and I think even before AB InBev bought them out, they just did away with it for like the final couple of years, and then afterwards they started. First they brought back Snowplow, and then I think like a couple of years later they brought Snowplow back in cans, and then they kind of did the same treatment with this.
I wish they'd do that again. Snowplow is
Yeah, I like
one of my
Snowplow.
favorite winter beers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now nobody makes dark beers for winter. It's all ales.
Mm.
So how is it? How is the Octo?
Oh, I don't know. I just finished pouring it.
Jeez, pour faster.
Looks like you needed 2 cans of it for that glass.
Yeah, right.
I did.
Is this
Oh,
the?
you bought that pollinator box that comes with the giant. Okay. So he has a giant pollinator.
Yeah, I saw that and I
Am
was
I-
like, oh, I don't
a
need
mug?
another glass.
Yeah, I got it last year.
Yeah, I saw that at Total Wine. I almost bought one.
Is it
They have
delicious?
them all over. It is. It's a little roasty, toasty goodness.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't think it. I mean, I've probably said this about a few beers that I used to drink in bottles that are now available only in cans that just doesn't quite taste as good as it used to. But that could also just be a memory thing too.
According to Tony Death, beer's better in cans.
No, I mean years ago I was all on board with the whole craft beer in a can thing, just for whatever reason. But I don't know. It's still hard to argue that
All right.
beer is still. I mean, beer is ultimately superior on draft, but glass is second best and probably always will be. Anywho.
All right, well, let's move on. I know Aaron's not here, and it's probably not that important because Aaron has his own segment on the show, so he'll be fine. He's cool with whatever we do anyway, and I don't want to keep pushing this goddamn board meeting thing. So the show's been doing really well lately. It's like the audience is up quite a bit. Where downloads are up quite a bit. There's a lot more. I think there's a lot of new listeners.
Right?
Sweet.
And so looking at the show, I'm just curious if there's anything. I'm really happy with how we've kind of like formatted the show with the, John's cold open and the 2 little segments we have with Nick and Aaron when Aaron does a mobile minute. I'm just curious for like Jared or Dave if you guys want to do segments or not. Are you interested? Don't care? We don't have to. You don't have to do one. I do want to bring a news segment into the show, but like super short, like super fast. I I guess I like the idea of starting the show off with something game related instead of going straight to a beer thing. So like there was like
Yeah.
a quick news gaming thing, like super fast though, because I don't want to spend time just reciting the news. So if there was a funny way to say like, here's the fucking news and it's stupid, I don't know. I'm open to that idea. Anyway, anyone
Isn't
opinions?
Yeah. Do either like the best or the worst gaming news of the week or something like that.
Yeah, gaming highs
Yeah.
and low news would be a good one, wouldn't
Or
it?
just like
Yeah,
one
best
high
news
and one
and worst
low.
news.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just one of
yeah,
each.
high low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
Jared,
gaming
maybe just
thumbs up,
pick a-
gaming thumbs
Jared,
down.
would you be down to do that?
I guess I could keep
Yeah.
that in mind, and as I'm digging through the news throughout the week.
Yeah, you seem to have more of a finger on the pulse than I do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh, we don't have to do this. I just think it's better, and I like to kick
Yeah.
off the show with beer. I feel like we should probably stick it with video games and then go to the beer thing. So that's one of my opinions, and that's kind of why I want like another small segment, but not nothing. You know, I like the two separate topics things. I don't know. What are your guys' opinion on the current state of the show? Where would you like to
well,
see it go?
isn't that kind of what you used to do? Like kind of the A topic was just kind of like a news brief with some commentary, and then the B part was
yeah.
whatever the topic was.
We used to never
I mean-
really do anything. We used to just go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you would
well-
rattle off like headlines, and then
Yeah,
we would
once
go
upon a
into the show.
time,
Oh, I
we
suppose you're
did
right.
talk about news and stuff like that. But that's like every single podcast out there
Yeah.
talks about all that.
And I don't want to be
So,
like
yeah,
We
that.
really don't need to.
I want to do something more fun, but something that starts off with video games. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, just like be very brief about it, like, or maybe Jared tries to do the news in under a minute, and
Huh.
Maybe.
Nah.
Yeah,
Or
Jared,
even just something like
news minute.
top game release of the week or something like that. More anticipated game release of the week, or I don't know.
And
We could do
maybe-
something quick. It
It
could
could
be
just be
less
or
than a
whatever's
minute
most
segment.
interesting
or
tidbit for you.
maybe Jared
that
could have
week.
like a sandwich segment where he just,
Where we make
Maybe
sandwiches?
well, no, what I mean is like he'll start with like kind of more serious stories, and then maybe if he finds like a little silly story, he can like fit it in like sometime later in the show, maybe towards the end, like if he has like some little funny news story, if there is one.
Well, I'd kind of like to. I just thought of this about stealing something from Ben Hansen. I guess I would say as back of the box trivia. I would read the back
Oh,
of one video game, and you guys would try to guess. And that
Right.
would take less
Oh,
than a
that'd be
minute to go around and maybe figure that out.
so you guys want more trivia?
Oh, the other classic is just the top 10. Top 10 games in the US or top 10 games in Japan or something silly.
I just
I'll
don't know.
just rattle off a list.
Just rattle off a list. But we
Just
do.
pick-
The problem
pick
with that is that
some
we do
random list
lists.
from
We
a
do
website.
lists sometimes, and
know.
I just like I don't know
Yeah.
if that's like that exciting. I
Or
don't know.
Pick like
Yeah.
some weird list.
I'm
Best
just
games with this.
I'm really happy where the show's
Or maybe
at.
just
So I'm just curious if we can tighten it and put some other cool flavors in. I guess. I don't
Or
know.
maybe just look at a list that's maybe like what's hot in another country, and if there's like something that stands out, maybe you just pull that out and just maybe talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, you could go for like
If it's
France
like
or
something that's
Germany,
really curious.
something weird.
Fan feedback could be awesome in this part, but
Oh, yeah.
Or if
what's fan feedback?
No one
Where
wants
would
to-
they throw that information?
They,
in?
I mean, they could go to
Uh,
our Gmail. It's what is it? The Couch Co-op Show at gmail.com. All one word, no
All
hyphen.
one word, no hyphen.
Something we also could do is like we could just try and pull an interesting fact for the day, like on this day in video game history.
Yeah. Nobody does that.
I don't
That'd
think
be
anyone
fun.
is. Like we could do something stupid like that, like something like that.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
could do
okay.
and then we could do a trivia thing at the end. But I don't want to. I don't want everyone to do too much work. I mean, like John does a little write up. Nick buys his beers. So Aaron hopefully plays a game on his phone. That's. I'm not trying to make you.
Yeah.
So like, if you look for like what
Dave invests in dead technology.
Yeah.
dead technology
But
with Dave.
I like that today in the day of gaming kind of thing.
All
I
right, so
dig
let's do
that.
something like that. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's,
that could be
yeah,
a list that you could put together for a whole year.
You know what came
in,
out
like a night?
on today, 25 years ago? Medieval.
there you
I
go.
don't know if
Oh,
you ever played
Medieval.
that game.
For
yeah.
The
PS1?
original for PlayStation.
Yeah, the original for the
Yeah.
PlayStation.
So that's
Okay.
so that's something, Jerry, you could do. Like just look up a bunch,
Yeah.
and then you could just stock a bunch, and then you could, that could just be Jaren's thing. And we could start the show off with something fun like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, okay, I'm down.
All right, that's simple. All right, Dave, you
I
don't
mean,
have
Dave
to do
already gave
anything,
you
but
one,
Dave, do you
but
want to do
next
anything?
I don't feel like I have much to add.
See, Dave doesn't want to add anything. Dave just wants to be a smart ass.
Yeah, I just want to
He
take.
just wants to
take
smile
away.
on camera.
Yeah,
He just
Yeah.
wants to react
That's
because
fine.
his
Cool.
opinions and his reactions are his segment.
Are we gonna do so now that we have 3 of the crew in one location? Are we gonna do more
Oh man,
stuff
yeah.
in house?
In person?
Yeah.
3 of us live in the cove.
Oh my god.
That just means 3 of you are going to be running to Total Wine for me.
John could walk there.
John can walk there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We try to schedule things with each other once in a while, but I don't know how. Like that's like broaching. Like, are we gonna start doing game night again? And I don't know. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's getting a little easier for me to break away and do stuff from time to time. So we're getting there in this household.
I imagine it'll be hard
I
for
mean, you can do
Aaron,
it.
and Nick lives in Canby.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, I made the trek up a few times.
Yeah, no, I know, but I know it's hard. I mean,
I wasn't saying it was hard. I mean, I guess as long as I have enough notice, I would.
that's what I mean. It's not like
I
some.
had a pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not
attendance
saying that
record.
we do it every week.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're gonna start doing game night every week again.
Like
And
one-
even if
once a
we
month
were,
kind of
even if
thing.
we were, I wouldn't want to record necessarily.
yeah.
But I would think it's fun. Like we were kind of talking about trying to get the kit together and like do a like all in group record session. But that'd be
Or
fun to
Monster
do.
Hunter Now
but,
gathering.
but I don't know, man. We're all old and have other things going on.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do something like that, I'm totally down. But it's not. It's not. Like I think I'm gonna record a bunch of stuff at the Retro Expo this month.
Nice.
Cool.
And I'm 100% sure that Justin's gonna be there, unless his plane crashes. He's going to be there. So,
Yeah, that's right around the corner,
yeah,
isn't it?
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought my tickets.
But
Some of us still need to get our tickets, Dave
it probably
Yep.
won't. It probably won't sell out.
and Nick.
Yeah, we should have a lot of people there. I want to get like a massive
Yeah.
group photo with like everyone that's kind of like, even with Scott and Yusef and Gabe. Just like have this big group.
Is Yusef DJing?
Yeah, he's
Oh.
DJing a couple of
Nice.
sets over the weekend, but he'll definitely be there on Sunday. So, but yeah. So anyway, the show is ticking upwards. It's kind of fun. And I think because we haven't put a lot of pressure on it, and we're just kind of having fun with it, as opposed to like how we used to just grind away. I think it's just easier now, and just having fun. So I was just curious if you guys had any thoughts or changes you would like to make. So that's it. We can call this board meeting to a close.
Adjourn.
Adjourned. El Presidente.
You. Cool. All right. You threw that octo, Nick?
Oh,
Oh, you still got some of it.
Good part.
yeah. It's 2 cans. It's Oktoberfest, baby.
You did 2 cans of it? Oh, my God.
Man, oh man.
It didn't even look that full. It's like half that
Yeah,
No, this
that,
thing-
that
this
mug
thing
wasn't even full.
takes-
Yeah.
Like 4 cans?
This, just about. I think
Jesus.
just under 4 cans.
Wow, I
Is it
was
like a
joking. I thought you'd
46
put 1
ounce?
can in it. 'Cause it
Yeah.
was like half full. That's why I was like, oh, you need a second can there.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
It even puts
That's
our
wild.
little couch co-op thing to.
Yeah, compare the two mugs. Like,
Yeah.
how much bigger? Jeez,
Jesus.
that's
Yeah.
massive.
That's a drunk
Like
smug.
standard glass mug that you imagine, big glass mug.
Mhm.
It's like twice the size,
All right.
twice the
Well,
volume.
we could have 3 people doing Aaron's Mobile Minute for your
Oh,
mobile
man.
game.
I
you
was
guys
really
are all
hoping
hot
that Aaron
for.
would do Monster Hunter World for Aaron's Mobile Minute, and then we could do a little extended play Mobile Minute, and we could all talk about it. We could
Wait,
all...
does Jared have any news or any trivia today?
No,
No, Dave did it for him.
No,
he
Dave-
said
Dave-
Medieval
yeah, Dave,
launched 25 years ago on this day.
yeah. And then he sent me a link for a website that
Has all that shit.
produces all that content.
This day in gaming, yeah.
Yeah,
How about
let's
another
stay in
segment?
gaming.
Like what's Evelyn been playing, or has she made it past the particles on Portal?
She's only been drawing stuff on computers.
She's given up on
she-
gaming. She's done.
well, she still plays Sky, Children of the Light.
She wants to
sometimes.
design him. She doesn't want to play him.
Yeah, she wants to figure out how to program and create and write and all that stuff right now, do art.
How about have her play Journey?
That's all right.
Sorry, I'm sitting here vamping just to see if.
Well,
Aaron's
she's
show up.
played and
Aaron's
beat
not
Journey
coming.
probably 6 or
I
7
texted
times.
him. I texted Aaron.
Oh.
He's not coming. I don't know. Or he's just like,
And,
that's a fucking that asshole Ian. I'm not gonna text him
yeah.
back.
Oh well, so something soon. Maybe Nick could get in on this, but John and I are gonna play this online.
Oh, I
Hell
can play
yeah.
that. I can play that.
2.
I can play that
installed
online
it
with
on
you.
my PS4 and my PS5, so I
I
can
have
be
it.
ready.
I have it too.
I have it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
really?
gotta get a
We
posse
could be a posse?
going.
That'll be
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I only have
I
the
have it installed
online.
on
I
both
bought
of
the
my
online.
systems.
All right, I'll install it.
Yeah,
All right.
it takes for fucking ever to install.
Because you have to
that,
install the
man.
entire fucking game.
Yes. Or you could go buy just Red Dead Online, but it probably
thought
downloads
No,
it
I
anyway.
have just Red Dead Online, but you have to install the entire game even just to play because it has all the assets from.
Yeah,
So it's you still
Wait,
have.
do you have to have a PS Plus for it or no?
to play online.
Yes.
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 Ah, well, son of a bitch. Huh?
Yeah.
You don't have Plus anymore.
No, I let it expire, and I. Man,
Eventually, they'll pop an email at you. Just hold your
If we were playing Fortnite, then you could.
Yeah,
you could
but
it's free.
maybe. Yeah. Rocket League's free. Fortnite's free.
Oh hell yeah, Rocket League.
Rocket League.
No one played. I mean, Ryan's been playing a lot of that lately. You should hook up with him, Dave. I see you playing it.
Oh yeah, I've been playing like religiously, at least a couple of games a day for the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm down. No one ever. That's the Red Dead Online is the only good part of Red Dead. I can be a
Why do you like
chick
that?
because I can be a chick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he
Do
doesn't
they
have to listen to
bikinis
Arthur.
in the Wild West?
Not yet. They haven't figured it
Nobody-
out.
Do
yet.
they have
Bikinis and
Daisy
heel.
Dukes?
I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna help him figure it out though. Anyway, that's exciting. I will play that. All right. But we got to get to the main topic of tonight. Aaron, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So Aaron came up with this. So we have in our Discord, we have this like little thread that like I just hey, come up with some ideas and we'll do them. And Aaron like about a month ago or so like put a one in, and I was like, oh, that's a fun one. Let's just do that. So like top 3 worst video game controllers. I don't think this needs much explanation. I think it's pretty straightforward. Any kind of fucking
Yeah.
video game controller.
Yep.
And yeah. So Jared, I guess.
I mean, I had one question about it, but
What
Go
was
ahead.
your
well, no,
question?
I didn't know if it was like in a general sense for like console, or if there was a specific third party controller that was hateable, or both.
I mean,
if
it's
You
all.
can name
if
if you can name it and it's bad, then
if you can name it and
it's
you
on the
can
list.
try to use it to play video games, then I imagine it's a video game controller. So
Okay,
I'm
I just didn't know if
It's
there
just-
were any parameters, or if there's
Nah.
just a pretty loose.
this is a pretty loosey
Yeah.
goosey. I should call this the Nintendo 64 Memorial game controller list because I'm sure this is
Yeah,
because I went out of my
I'm
way.
sure that's on at least three
I
of our
went
lists.
out of my way not to pick that, just knowing that it is the worst controller. So like that's cool if one of you guys picks it. I mean,
I don't think that's the worst controller.
I don't what.
I don't
Anyway.
think it's a good one. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right.
Page.
Jared, you get the wonderful joy of
So-
kicking us off.
You've already put the butter on this toast for Nintendo. You already got some on there, but did anybody actually like using the Wii remote?
No, but I
Did
didn't
any-
put it
yeah?
on.
for
Yeah,
bowling, but as a controller, no, it sucked.
Well, even naturally, like trying to bowl with it, it just nothing felt right with it, and you have to connect a nunchuck to it, and so you have this awkward wire hanging out. And if you wanted to play a game with it as like a sideways controller, it was such a weird shape, and it felt really poor. I just really didn't like that at all.
I played Mario Galaxy with it, and it was that was ugh.
Yeah,
it wasn't
I'm
very-
still trying to play Mario Galaxy 2.
wasn't
It just
good.
feels so bad to play.
The only reason it didn't make my list is because, like, for certain games, it actually did work. It was reasonably good as a kind of pointer, and the buttons, and it felt good at that point.
It was innovative. It did neat
Yeah.
things, but it just didn't feel good. I think it's a poorly designed controller. It didn't feel good in your hand one bit.
Didn't stop them selling a load of Wii's, but anyway,
No, it did not,
I've got 4 of
because
them
it
on the
was
floor here,
easy to
actually.
use. But for people that aren't just casual gamers and stuff like that, the Wii controller is not built for that type of gamer.
Yes, that's why they had the pads later on, isn't it? Like the game pads that you could plug in instead.
Yeah.
Nunchuck.
But the annoying part about that is you had to have the Wii remote, and then you had to plug a controller into it. So you'd have your Wiimote like hanging off to the side, your wire connected to the Wiimote while
Yeah.
you're holding this controller in your hand. And
Looks like
a lot
Ian's
of
got the
times it
sperm
was really
version
bad.
with the cover.
Yeah, they
The
had to
fleshlight
start.
version.
Yeah, people were throwing them into their TV, so they had to start producing this silicone sleeve to put over it, which made it a little more comfortable.
And the wire strap too.
Yeah, the
Or
wire
wrist
strap. So
or the
yeah,
wrist strap. Sorry, not
yeah,
wire strap.
the wrist strap. They had to give a stronger wrist strap. That's what that
Yeah.
was. It came
Yeah.
with a wrist strap.
Yeah,
but they
because the
needed
first
to-
one was an adjustable one. The other one actually had like a lock on it.
Yeah, and that all that shit flying around because I didn't like using that stuff. I never had the wrist straps on. Just I don't know. There was a lot of things I just didn't like about that console, as much as I did play it. But yeah, that's the one. And eventually, you had to buy an extension for the Wii Motion Plus to stick on the back, and that's when I just like set my Wii down and decided not to play it anymore.
You can't get a controller with that
Did you-
built in.
Yeah, you could.
Just
You-
before
Did
we
you ever
move,
get?
just before we move on really quickly to Dave, there's a CP Lover 445 in the chat, and he says, "Tell Big Man to show his feet." I guess Nick, he wants you to see. He wants to see your feet, dude. You
Why
don't,
am I
you
big
don't,
man?
I don't know. You're the big man. You're like bigger.
Oh,
You're closer
Your
to the
camera's
camera,
closer.
oh,
Maybe.
okay.
All right, fine.
Um,
I got my Chihuahua
Well-
and peanut butter on my bed watching you guys. Keep talking. Trick on stream, oiled up. Tell Big
okay.
Man to show his feet. I'm
Sweet.
assuming it's you, Nick, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is me. Maybe it is me.
I mean,
too old to
if
be
he
that
likes peanut butter and fungus, then all right then.
Oh God.
Man, oh man.
You know,
This
I'm
is
just,
not what I
I'm just
signed
doing
up
my
for.
job reading the chat,
Yeah.
guys. You know, I don't listen.
All
Thank
right.
you.
It wasn't racist and it wasn't like sexist or misogynist. It was just fucking weird. So I said, "Oh, I'll read it."
Yeah, why not?
better than the usual.
Thanks for
isn't it?
commenting.
Dave,
Dave.
what's your number one
Aw.
or number 3 controller?
My number 3 is one that I hadn't actually experienced until the Portland Retro Gaming Expo a couple of times ago, and the Atari Jaguar controller. That thing
Yeah.
was like dead flesh. It was so unresponsive. Like the the joypad bit was just there was no like sense that you'd actually pressed anything or done anything, and the buttons were like spongy mess. It was really atrocious, and at first I thought maybe it just got a bad controller, you know, as you do, because those controllers are 20 years old. There are bound to be a couple of bad ones around, but every time I've played a Jaguar since, it's horrendous, and I just can't get past it, even though the games actually look pretty good, and you know, the stuff I would like to play on that system, but.
And they're
Man.
huge and have like a whole bunch of
Oh
unnecessary
yeah, and then
number
all
buttons.
the number buttons on it, they're huge, but those square ABC buttons, or is it 1, 2, 3? I don't remember on the Jaguar, but the red buttons, they're just spongy. There's no like kind of satisfying click or button
Huh.
press.
Just
So
all like springs.
it's not even
Something like
springs. It's
that.
like
Yeah.
20-year-old just rubber
Huh.
pads
Just
that have
mushy.
gone mushy. Yeah.
100%
Gross.
agree. 100% agree. Didn't
Yeah.
think about it, but yeah, last year when we played that thing,
I forgot that I used one. That's why it's
just
not
awful.
on my list.
It's just an
Yeah.
awful controller.
Surprisingly awful. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what do you got for number 3?
Sorry, I went on Twitch and I
you-
saw the username of the person who was on there.
Harassing you?
Seeing if you knew that.
It's a friend of yours?
No, it's not. It's
I wish
Yeah.
it was, dude.
no. Just
It's Brandy.
sorry. I just
She's
Yes.
just like, I think, not socks, Dave. I think you gotta take them off. You gotta take the socks off.
Oh, I don't think my leg goes that high twice in one night.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the
Yeah.
the audio
Oh,
only people.
come on.
Oh,
This
Jesus.
is a family show.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's the JPK family show.
The people, the bots that are listening to the audio only portion of this are lucky right now.
Only your family watches this, John.
Yeah, only your family. Yeah. What does that say?
They're gonna be like, "Listen, we love our kid, but I
Dude,
don't
what's
know
with
if
your
this
dad,
is-
John?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Why is he licking his toes?
Oh,
What?
Sorry, go ahead, Nick. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with the Master System controller, and I'm only saying that just because going from a Nintendo controller, and then, I mean, I'm talking like playing Nintendo for years,
Yeah.
and then going to playing on the Master System. I mean, it's not so much the shape of it, but it's so basic. And then when you're trying to look for a pause button, then you actually have to reach over to the stupid machine to pause the game. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with the Master System, but that was just kind of one that flustered me when I was playing Alex Kidd.
I thought about it similar. It was more the joypad again. It was more like the Jaguar. It was dead flesh. Kind of didn't feel
Yeah.
very good. The buttons weren't too bad, but
Oh, that D-pad. Yeah, that's right. It's like
Yeah.
a square, a floaty square.
yeah, it's like a floaty
That's
square,
right.
and there's no like
And then
feedback
there's
that you've
1 and
actually
2.
pressed the button.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember playing on that. That was trash. Same shape. Just as uncomfortable as the NES controller, but it's sloppy.
All right. JPK.
the Connect.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I did think
Yeah.
about that.
You didn't
So
like wiggling in front of the screen?
Yeah, Sonic's Race Adventure or whatever that game was such a flawless.
Onyx racist
masterpiece.
adventure.
You didn't like tubing? Didn't you get to
So-
go inner tubing on a game?
So the Connect was pretty much a.
Some people love the
webcam.
Connect, dude. Some people
Well,
love it.
They can. I'm sure they have them, and they can keep them.
hmm
But I just remember playing like Sonic. The most notorious one was playing Sonic's racing game, which was a launch title for the Kinect, and that was just unresponsive as hell. Just it kind of registered your feet, but I mean, pretty much your characters would just be in standstill as you're like
Huh.
swinging your leg wildly trying to get somewhere. And then it's just pretty unresponsive, and then in some cases invasive, because when they launched it, Microsoft said, "Oh yeah, this can never. This is your Kinect is always on, and it's just like, oh great. So I just have to
Hmm.
put a piece of tape over the camera so it's not that invasive or as invasive. So the Kinect for the Xbox.
There you go. Good times.
And you
Good
had that on the
choice.
Xbox 360 because you didn't have the Xbox One, right?
No,
'Cause-
I only tried it with some friends on their Xbox. I never personally owned one.
Okay.
But when they first started shipping out, I think when they first started shipping out the Xbox One, it came with the Kinect. It
It
was
did.
part of the system.
And then they bailed
And
on
then-
it really quick,
Yeah,
Real quick.
Yeah.
Hmm.
which was
they
such a
realized
weird thing.
people didn't want to pay in it. You know, they could make the console $50 cheaper if
Yeah.
they got rid of it as well. You know, it's like,
Hmm. Yeah, the PlayStation was cheaper than the Xbox.
But the funny
So
thing
they-
is
they
that the
had to pull that out
PlayStation's
quick.
camera survived through all of that and still did a lot of what the Kinect did, which, like, Sony never pushed it, but it was always something that they had, and to this day they still use it. It's just a very interesting.
yeah, because I've played Dance Dance Revolution or whatever it is.
It's just very interesting that
Just Dance. Yeah.
but like Xbox just gave up on that whole camera thing. Like, just hot garbage. Not gonna touch it.
Well, they
mean,
were
they
like
went-
forcing it in people's laps, where at PlayStation people were tearing them off the shelves because they wanted to stream and jump
Well,
in
it's
rooms
also
with
VR
other
required
people
it.
and-
VR required it.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah,
you know,
it
and
was
streaming.
useful.
But I was like, why couldn't they have still like managed it into a thing that they, you know, like? It just seems weird that you, like
Yeah.
just for streaming purposes. Like,
Yeah.
what if you wanted a camera for streaming? Like, why doesn't Microsoft? It just seems weird that they just totally shit on it. Like, they just totally dropped it. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
you could have like repurposed it in a way. It's a very interesting like call there. I'm just curious. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting chapter in the Microsoft history.
All right.
Ian,
My
what's
number
your number
three,
three?
I'm gonna follow kind of a similar route as Dave and Nick, and I love the TurboGrafx 16, but I also think that its controller is cheap and mushy and garbage. Like, like if you're not
I haven't played that since I was a kid.
making like like that kind of rectangle controller that is as good as the original Nintendo controller, you shouldn't be making that controller at all. Like, there shouldn't be that controller. You know, that
Yeah.
controller is always just. We rented one. I remember we rented one for our birthday, and we had it all weekend, and we played all the games for it that we could get, and it was a good time. I mean, it's a really fun system. I have fond memories of it, but the controller is just mushy garbage, and it feels cheap. And it's funny when I do play one, because I've always wanted to get one, and they've gotten more and more expensive. But every time I play, then I remember playing it with it's just kind of, it's like, ugh, I don't like this. Why do
The
I?
D-pad
why do
looks
I want
better
this?
than the Master System
Oh
one.
yeah, it has more
Yeah.
of the plus sign
Yeah.
than the square.
And it had
six
the
buttons,
one that I
or 4
used had the
buttons.
turbo switches on
But-
it.
But I
Did
still,
they all come with the turbo switches?
I don't know,
Yeah, there's like 3 levels of sensitivity you could turn it up to.
but it's still just kind of
actually
a
had a-
garbage controller. I
Yeah.
think. Anyway, that's mine. Super simple. Jared, number 2. Oh wait,
Number
wait, not 2
2.
yet. Let's go
Oh,
back to
beer.
the Beerstro because I noticed he just poured the Zoigl House in. So how was that October? That Widmer Octo?
It was pretty good. I still like it,
Quite a bit.
even in a can. Yeah,
And then
still-
how's the
still a
Zoigl?
favorite. I don't know. It's a little different. Not bad.
Got some
I'm not
spice. Got some
shit-talking
flavors.
it. It's-
Got some flavors.
Yeah, there is like a little bit of a kind of a like not spicy, but I noticed there is a little bit of spice on the aftertaste. That I'm kind of feeling neutral about. I don't hate it, but I also don't like it.
All right.
That sort of thing. I mean,
We'll let you finish
yeah.
it, and we'll get your opinion at the end. All right, Jared. Now, give us 2
Nintendo, man.
again.
Nice.
Nintendo has a lot of really annoying controllers.
Like pretty much all of them,
do.
except for the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Super
And
Nintendo as well. Yeah.
Super
that was the
Nintendo's not
best,
bad. It's
yeah.
not bad. It's all right.
But the Nintendo 64 controller, it's
Oh, he did put it on his
my
list.
number 2.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Even like, yeah, you could hold it on both sides and play a game with it, maybe a couple, but you had to hold the middle in most circumstances. So your hands were really close together It felt weird. It just that I mean, it was revolutionary for its time because it had 3D games. You could move the stick in the direction you wanted to go, but it had like still felt like it was directional because the joystick slid into slots versus like
Yeah.
being a nice sphere. And that what really stuck with
Mhm.
me. Like I just didn't like the feel. It just like clunks into place. I don't
Yeah,
know. And the
it had 8 positions that it would go in rather than like an actual smooth.
Yep. I think Ian has
yeah.
one of these. Yep.
I mean, the Nintendo controller brought so much to the forefront of gaming. The C stick, or not C stick, but the yellow buttons on the left to control the camera and stuff like that were trash. But without the Nintendo 64 controller hitting when it did, joysticks wouldn't. I mean, they would have existed, but they were the first. Rumble Pack was a giant heavy thing that you attach to the back of it. That was the first time that stuff happened. But just the feel of the controller, even going back to it now, going at the retro expo, just holding those with my hands is so uncomfortable.
Cool. All right. There it is. Will it make an appearance on someone else's list? Dave, what's your number 2?
I had a couple for my number 2. But I think the original Xbox controller, the one that was like the
The
pizza,
Duke.
The Duke.
the Duke,
The
yeah.
Duke.
That thing
Giant.
It's
never
so
felt.
big. It's too
Yeah.
big. It's for lumberjack hands. Like,
And then the button, the like little white and black buttons were always too
Yeah,
far away from your
that
thumb, even though you
weren't
needed
those
them.
L and R1 or right bumper and left
Something
bumper.
like that.
I
Yeah,
think they
Yeah.
something
were,
like that.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then
so they had 2 triggers. Is it?
it was just so big, and then they got it so right with the second one.
oh yeah,
The
100%.
second one is like
Yeah.
an awesome controller, and it's like
Look
they
at
should have
John.
just.
It's your old controller.
Hey.
Nice.
But I mean, yeah, that first one was just
It's
horrible.
rough. It's a rough thing. 100%.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, I had that on my list as a number, at a number 2, I think. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
not put it on my list, but I agree. I'm gonna try and pick some other controllers.
Oh, I've got some ideas for you if you need them. But
I don't need
It
them.
would have
I
been
got.
fine if it had 4 shoulder buttons.
It's just
It would've
it's
been
just
fine.
so big, and then the
It
funny
is.
thing is like just like
Chunky.
what like
I have
last
big
year
hands.
they had an anniversary re-release for it, and everyone was
Mhm.
super excited for it. It's like, dude, that controller is like a giant fucking. It's like a fucking rock. It's like
yeah,
it's
It had the giant
the
X on
Dreamcast
it, the-
controller is too big, and yet it's even bigger than it. Like it's like holding.
I liked the Dreamcast controller though. Its only flaw was that
There's
the
no
wire went out the wrong side.
that. Well, I don't really mind that, but I think it just needed the dual sticks. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah, of
in.
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
That wasn't a thing yet.
competing. Yeah, because it came
Oh,
PS2. PS
yeah,
PS1
PS2
had
had the
PS1
dual-
had dual sticks at the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Dreamcast
that's
just
right.
decided not to do that. So when you're playing Unreal Tournament, you're fucking turning with the
And that-
fucking buttons, and it's like fucking
That
obnoxious.
controller
Yeah.
is so comfortable though. The Dreamcast one, I loved
No,
it.
it is. It's flawed.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it has lots of
Yeah.
flaws, but it's comfortable.
Anyway, sorry. Good
Yeah,
choice,
sorry,
Dave. I agree
that's
with you
taken
on
away
the
from
Duke,
Dave's, yeah.
100%. I
Yeah.
just picked. I just like. It's just the
Big
Duke reminds me of how like the Dreamcast controller is big, and then the Duke
Yeah.
is bigger. So, Nick, what you got for number 2?
So this is kind of like a, not to pile on, but kind of like a sidebar, I guess, to the Nintendo 64, because this is an actual specific Nintendo 64 controller, the SharkPad Pro 64, which I bought probably because it was really
gosh, yeah, I
cheap.
remember those.
Yeah, that was the controller that I bought that was cheap because I wanted to get a second controller, but it was also the controller that nobody wanted to use, including myself. I think I even gave it a shot, and it was just like, nah. Because, I mean, as awful as I got used to the Nintendo 64 controller. Maybe I was just too naive to be to know to hate it, but I mean, there was even like a couple games where I could actually just play one-handed on the N64 controller. But yeah, this thing just there was just nothing comfortable about it, and nobody even wanted to, even second player never wanted to play. They were more
I'm-
content just sitting down and watching me play.
I'm glad
and then
you brought
waiting for
it
their
up.
turn.
Because I was going to
So,
have a whole category of
what-
third-party joysticks in the early 2000s.
What specifically was bad about this one? I don't know about this joystick.
It
honestly.
was a lot thicker to hold than like it's I mean
It was
I could probably
squarer
try
as
and
well,
show
wasn't it?
it was yeah, it was meatier. It didn't feel comfortable at all. Um I mean, I've seen like I just like when I try to remember what this controller was, I've seen like other people try to emulate its design,
Oh,
but
wow.
okay, so John looked it up, but it's
Is that it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, what a giant.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember
well,
those.
that's
That's
not
awful.
quite it because
It looks like a stingray.
Yes.
yeah, but I mean
It's funny.
There's also
this is yeah, because
Okay.
it was
What the?
no, it was I mean, this is it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it doesn't look
ugly.
very
Oh,
good,
I had a controller like that too. Yeah,
but it's
I was
yeah,
going to
it
say,
was yeah,
everyone
it didn't
everyone
have
had that
the
second controller when they were growing up that was just a cheap knockoff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
you played
Yeah.
two-player games, it was like, here, have the handicap controller.
Mhm.
Because it was
And-
just never as accurate or as responsive as the
Yeah.
first party.
It's funny.
And so, I mean, I eventually got rid of. I actually, I'm not even sure if I got rid of it. I just eventually just bought more, just the regular N64 controllers, and we all had a good time with that. But yeah, this thing was just absolute trash, and even as cheap as it was still a waste of money.
Ouch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
John.
John, what
you're
you
number
got?
two.
Number 2.
I'm gonna go with the Switch controller. Like once you
Joy-Cons,
take
baby.
Joy-Cons,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Fucking
Joy-Cons, you combine
Joy-Cons.
them.
That's
Yep.
that's my number one.
I didn't like it, and it's not so much. I mean, I haven't tried the gaming controller they have, the gaming pro controller they have, but what really bothers me about the Switch once you combine the Joy Cons together is the button layout. I fucking
Yeah.
hate it because I played Xbox in the past. Now I play PlayStation, but they have it set up like it's alphabetized like an Xbox controller, but the orientation is fucked up, and they even use the same letters like X, Y, A, B, but it's like, and then it's in a
Different.
different orientation, and
Yeah.
it's so frustrating to use that
What
controller.
a trash design.
And then
It's
you get
shit
the
when it's
Japanese games
together.
where it's like
It's shit
exit
when
is
it's
something.
apart.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's bad enough where I have to sync my PlayStation controller to play my Switch.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't.
That's what I do.
just don't
so.
like playing with the Switch Joy Cons.
And then
I haven't
Jared's
tried-
like
I haven't tried
replaced.
that yet. I
Jared's
should try that.
replaced the. How many times have you worked on
I've
those?
replaced the joysticks due to joystick drift. I think twice in both controllers.
Oh my god! So 4 times?
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus
So I've
Christ.
taken my Joy Cons apart 4 times.
Just a shit design.
Damn.
Shit design.
Yeah.
And
Just
these are
to
made.
replace the joysticks.
And this is supposed
Yeah.
to be made for kids. Get out of here.
Oh man,
Nintendo.
I grabbed my brother's Switch that he bought for his son, and dude, those things get gross. If you're not watching your kid play those things, they get so gross. The joysticks get gummy and sticky and oily, and it's disgusting.
Kids should only be allowed to play with the Duke. Like you just need a Bluetooth Duke, and then like that can sync to any of your game. And it's like, here, kids, you fucking play with this. It's
Yeah, I won't let my kids play anything until they wash their hands. Wash your hands. Don't touch this.
Yeah, that was another one of my picks. I was going to pick the old Joy-Cons. I'm just not a fan of them. They
Yep.
also feel just real flimsy. So
Or if you play
Well,
the
like,
little
if you
half
put
of
that-
it, they feel so tiny. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or when you slide the wrist thing, the shoulder buttons or whatever, and you just that sickening click where you're just like, am I breaking this thing or am I just
Well, that's not the biggest problem. Is if you take your Joy-Con off and you're sliding that little bar thing on top, if you're not paying attention and you click it on the wrong way,
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah,
almost
yeah.
impossible to pry the two apart.
Yeah.
It sucks. So you better pay attention when you're putting those damn things on.
All right. So my number 2 might be controversial because I know it has a fan base. But I'm gonna pour more hatred on the Nintendo. I think the GameCube controller fucking is awful.
Yes. That's on my list too. That stupid little C button.
I don't understand the
C
fucking
stick
button
is worse.
shit right here, man. I just like it's dumb.
So
it's so dumb.
So my favorite part about the GameCube controller is it's really comfortable to
It's
hold.
not bad
It's
controller to
super
hold. I don't
comfortable.
know if it's super comfortable, but it's no
It
worse
is.
than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent controller to hold. It's up there with everything else. But like,
But yeah, it needed a second.
I've been
joystick.
playing. Well, I was playing Metal Gear Solid the remake on game, and it's just there's this other button, and it's just confusing, and I hit the wrong button all the time. It's just like, what are these fucking buttons?
I feel like if they got rid of that C button joystick thing and just put another regular joystick like they have on the left-hand side, it would be a lot better of a controller. I could live with it a
the
lot
C
easier.
buttons,
I mean, yeah.
because for the N64, the C buttons were supposed to be their version of a second joystick to look
Yeah,
around.
camera
And then they
control
evolved
C
it
stick.
to the GameCube.
And then I don't really
But
like the
then-
shoulder buttons because they're not like triggers. They're like you
They're
push
pretty
them
squishy.
in. They're squishy
Yeah.
push in. They're not like triggers like on other
Mhm.
modern controllers of that period. Like even like
Okay,
the
what-
PS2. You know, it's like
They
you
don't
push
pivot,
it in.
They slide in.
Yeah, they slide in.
Yeah.
They don't pivot, and it's just garbage.
I get what you're saying about the C button. I think my problem with the C button is it's not got like a good thumb, and the joystick on it as well just doesn't have a very good
Yeah.
thumb surface.
But then
you
they
kind of
still-
slip off a bit.
Yeah.
I've noticed what they did with that C joystick button, but then they still want you to use it for like items and inventory and shit like that in some of their games. So
Yeah.
it's not even for camera control, which supposedly was the original design for it, but then you're doing inventory management with it, like Zelda, how you would still have to flick this joystick around. And it's like that's just poor implementation.
Yeah.
Like, why am I using this joystick to flip around items? It should be a button.
I agree. I mean, I agree with all of this. I mean, it's not.
So newsflash,
I don't know. I don't
Nintendo-
know. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just putting it at number 2 because it's just one of the controls I had when I was playing that whole Metal Gear thing. I was just like, man, this is just so obnoxious, and it doesn't feel right. And maybe because my brain is wired to the whole PS2 thing of that game or PS1, but it just feels awkward and it doesn't work the way
Yeah.
I want it to. And so then that's one of the reasons I never finished that run because I was just like, ugh, it's just not fun to play. So
Yeah.
there you go. Nintendo taking the
Yeah.
win here on best
Well,
controllers
yeah,
of all
that was
time.
my list is Nintendo. Since my number 1 was already taken, the Switch controllers, I'm just gonna bitch about another Nintendo controller, the NES controller.
Really?
It's fine. It's fine, but
it's fine.
its angles hurt my hands as an adult.
Hmm.
The buttons, how they're divoted, the edges dig into my thumbs.
What? Oh, what?
And if with long sessions of gaming on that controller,
All
my
right.
hands hurt
All right.
because it's tiny. Like as a kid, it's wonderful. It was fantastic. But as an adult, I just like whining about it and saying I'm old or
All
something.
right. All right. There goes Jared. I actually think that controller is pretty strong, and it holds up to abuse really well, unlike other Nintendo controllers.
Yeah, they are strong. They are strong, but the sharp edges are my biggest dig on that controller.
And did anybody have any like OCD issues with how you wrapped up your cord when you put it away, or is that
Oh,
just me?
Yes, so you would make a loop so you wouldn't break it over, and then you would wrap it. So I always have
and
this
then
loop.
then you had these Neanderthal friends that would just like kind of like do this
Tighten it
whole
up.
nest thing.
Pull the wires out
they
of
just
the board.
no. It was like there was just no organization to it, and it just kind of looked like a clump of cord, just like over the middle, and then you weren't friends with them anymore.
So you gotta like do this, see, and then you just roll it. nicely.
Yeah,
But
like
let me
that.
keep
I
this
mean,
one
it
like
almost looked like a rat's nest, almost.
that. Anyway, Dave, the final
So
one or whatever. Just
I
throw
was
them all
gonna have
out.
the Joy-Con, but I've got a good runner-up, which is, and actually you should have, you have it, but the Steam controller.
No, I
I
like the
never,
Steam controller.
I couldn't get the hang of
I
those two
love
like
this.
touch pads. Anyway, those things go for $200-300 now, apparently,
Wow.
for some reason. But those, it's got like one joystick on it, and then the buttons are like weird and in the middle, and then it's got these two kind of touchpad joy
Well,
stick
no. So
pad
this is
things.
kind of a touchpad, but also a directional pad.
Yeah,
And then this one is a mouse pad.
yeah, and
So
it's
it
just
acts as the camera like a mouse would act
Huh.
when you like use a mouse.
Oh,
So like so it's very kind of crazy. And then you have
yeah.
regular
I could
buttons and
never
then
get into it, and I'd never liked the
feels
feel
good.
of dragging your thumb across. I don't like touchpads either, though. So it's like I
Yeah.
never liked the feeling of dragging your fingers across the like controller circles.
It'd be like using like a trackball in like a first person shooter,
There's
I
a
guess.
trackball controller.
Oh, I know there
was
is. I'm
looking
just
at-
saying it'd be
yeah.
like it's like that. It'd be like using a
wow.
trackball.
Yeah, I never tried that Steam controller.
It's pretty cool. I don't use it that much, but anymore. I used to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I paid $10 for it at Goodwill one time, and I was like, oh, I'll give this a try, and I played it, and I was just like, nah, not really using it. So, I'm like, Ian, do you want it? And I think you had the Steam. Well, I can't remember why you.
I
You
use it for
wanted-
Skyrim.
Yeah, and so you were like, oh, I'll give it a try, and then you
And then I can
enjoyed it.
map extra things to the trigger buttons at the bottom, the pro
Oh,
control.
it has the back buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a pretty cool controller.
it's interesting. It's kind of like Nintendo, trying something new, but it sucks.
It's built pretty
my
well. It's built pretty well. I think they just didn't I mean, they only really supported it for like a couple years, and then they were just like, "Oh, we're done."
Yes.
We tried it. All right, bye.
Yeah, so apparently those things are worth big money now. So,
Cool.
Huh.
Thanks for giving it to me, Dave.
oh, you're welcome.
I'm not gonna sell it, so it doesn't really matter. But
No, I know. I just never could get the hang of it, and I didn't really have a use for it. So it's like,
that's funny.
you have a try.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
So I'm probably gonna get some shit for this, but just any Xbox controller.
Any
Um,
Xbox controller.
Wow.
I mean, I did. There was a point where I actually considered like actually getting an Xbox. I won't lie about that, but just one of the main detractors. Just like even when they first came out, I just took one look at that controller and just basically noped out of. I mean, I have not played. I don't think I've ever played anything on an Xbox. And,
What?
Yeah,
It's the
I've-
only. It's the best PC controller, though.
Yeah, the Xbox 360 controller is like
The most
the wired
bulletproof,
version
The wired
is
version.
one of my favorite like controllers. It feels good. It's got all the buttons you
Is it?
need. It holds up well.
Okay.
It's
Do those 360s work with modern?
the wired ones
PCs?
do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But did they work with the modern Xbox consoles? If it or
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe.
for a 360 game, but these ones I have are like knockoff brands, so they might not have like the same codec inside the controller to wire it in there. I should try it because I have some 360 games from the past.
But why, Nick?
so
why
I could
why do
try
you
it.
just hate it? Why do you hate
Um,
Xbox?
Well, I mean, it's probably just like who had the original Xbox controller as one that
I had
they
the
hated?
I had the
David?
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke.
I mean,
Version
roommate
2
Jake at
is
the
great.
time. I mean, he bought the initial Xbox, and I just took one look at that, and maybe it just kind of stayed with me. I mean, I never really gave any like. What's that, Jared?
Oh, I was just
Sorry,
the
I mean,
off-centered
I've-
joysticks.
I've always
kind
been
of,
I mean, I've always been partial to kind of like the PlayStation controllers and like the Super Nintendo. I mean, I know I probably don't have a lot of room to sit here and complain about controllers if I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, I was fine with the N64 controller, and I'm sitting here like, nah, I'm looking at the Xbox controller and hating it. But I don't. I just kind of saw the abomination of a controller back in the day, and maybe that just kind of stuck with me, like to where I just really didn't really want to consider anything Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, even until recent, I'm even looking the or thinking about getting an Xbox One. I never really considered the controller, but I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of one of those branding things that just kind of stuck with me. But definitely I'm with Dave on I guess hating on that Duke, as you call it. But
It's called the Duke.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not a nickname. It's an actual official name.
Well, it was a
Okay.
nickname, but then it became its official name.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
But yeah, it was
Yeah.
just it. I God, my first impression of that was just it was kind of scary, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I
It's
don't know
something
what
you
to
get
say.
used
It
to.
just okay.
You don't get
I
used to
mean,
it. It's
yeah.
too
and-
big. It's too
Yeah.
fucking big.
I mean, I
It's not
understand getting
great.
used to a
It's not
controller because,
Nintendo.
like I said, Nintendo 64. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a weird. It's not consistent thinking. I'll happily admit that, but at the same point, it's just I saw that controller and just part of me just wanted no part of the Xbox back then, and I think that's probably just carried with me throughout the years. Even though I will admit that at some points those consoles have been technically superior to the PlayStation.
There you go.
Yeah. Hate all you want. Come at me.
Come at me. Come at me, bro.
I mean, there's that whole battle, the off-center joysticks versus centered joysticks. There's
I don't think it makes a
hardcore
fucking
fans of
difference.
either.
No.
I honestly don't think it fucking matters. Like that argument is so stupid. I use an Xbox and a PlayStation controller interchangeably all the time. That argument is so fucking dumb to me. But whatever.
Yeah.
I use both. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway,
But
John.
John, you're number one.
Xbox controllers.
And you're Mr. Xbox.
So,
you like Xbox.
I don't like modern day Xbox controllers. I've busted through 3 of them, and they all get the drifting stick. And I don't know
Oh,
what happened. I don't know
On
what
your
happened.
Series
between-
S?
Yeah. I bought 3.
Wow.
I bought 2 full price ones, and then I just got a cheap wired one. But they all ended up the same thing.
Oh,
my
man.
stick started to drift after a while.
Mine hasn't done that yet.
You're just playing too
But-
hard, bro.
Apparently, but I those 360 ones, they're pretty much bulletproof. So I
They
just
are.
don't understand what
Yeah.
happened. I don't understand what happened other than like, oh, we just went with cheaper material.
So far on the Series S and my PS5, I do not have drift, but like Switch and PS4, I had lots
My
of drift.
PS5 is still going. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going strong, and I feel like it's gone the same
I
amount
don't think
of
I've
time
ever had
before.
drift on PS4. I had other issues, but not drift.
I had it on both the PS4 and the PS5. The joypads that came with my consoles
Oh,
got drift, and I had to send. Well, actually, the first one wouldn't work, and I had to send it back. So I had this brand new PlayStation 4, and I couldn't play it because I didn't have a. It took them 2 weeks to send me the
Yeah.
joypad back. And then the PlayStation 5 went the same way. I just got drift on it, and I had to send it in under warranty.
jeez.
Luckily, I had a second controller, but this time round, So I've not had much luck with those PlayStation controllers.
Interesting.
Yeah, darn. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you don't like the modern
Xbox.
all Xbox controllers? You
No,
said.
just modern Xbox.
Just
like
more of a-
Anything
Oh,
after the
only
Xbox
because
Series
you've had
S,
drift.
X,
You
it
or
gotta,
doesn't
the-
matter.
John, you got to
Is
spend
it the
$120
comfort of
and
it?
get the pro one.
See,
That's
fuck
where it's
that.
at.
I already spent $60 twice.
Oh, look who
Yeah,
shows
so-
up at
That's
the
what
end.
the-
At the
150.
end.
With the modern ones, I don't like the
Somebody
texture
finally
on
went
the
to
back,
sleep.
Yeah, someone
Though
did.
you don't
because
like
it's
the
really
what, Jared?
rough. The texture
Yeah.
of the back of the new Xbox controllers is a little rough. Yeah, a little
But
rough.
the-
I like
That's
the
called
more
grip,
smooth
Jared. That's just
feeling.
called grip, old man.
The Super Pro ones are like 100, almost like 150, and
Yeah.
those are the one with the tactical buttons on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And one of my friends is like, "Oh, you should get that. If you got one of those, you'd probably get less drift
You
because you're
probably
not
break it right
grinding
away.
the
You
joystick."
probably break it right
I'm
away.
like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna spend 150
You're
on
also
a
not a
controller."
pro. You're also like
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
you just need a game.
I'm a
pad.
poser.
No, but you just need a gamepad that works. You don't need to spend.
Yeah,
I mean,
my brain's too dumb to have back buttons.
back buttons are
I'm
pretty
not gonna spend
useful.
money on those.
But
Mhm.
all right,
Yeah.
well, what I'm gonna do here then is do my number one, and then we'll let Aaron do his whole list since he. Aaron, hey, welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
The little one didn't want to go down. So
That's
I
all right,
stepped in.
man.
It's all right,
That's
man.
all right.
We got you.
They do that.
We got you.
We'll continue.
You down
Yeah,
that
go ahead,
beer,
Ian.
and then I'll do my my number one.
Your
Yeah,
number one.
My number one is. I mean, I appreciate the attempt, and I've had fun with the games across the PlayStation library of which these controllers were used. But man, is it obnoxious to set up? It's an obnoxious. I mean, this is even prior to PS4. This is back in the old PS.
Move.
So we're gonna go with the Move controllers. That so I never owned a pair, but Jared did, and so we used to use them at his house, and then I had to buy some for VR.
Yep, I have a pair as well.
But then I also ended up buying some old PS3 Move games, which some of them are actually pretty fucking cool, but goddamn is it obnoxious sometimes.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
cool concept. It's just not the best concept. It's just like I appreciate the innovation and the try, but sometimes you're just having a lot of fun, and then all of a sudden it's just like, what the fuck is going on now? You have to like pause, recalibrate, refigure everything out. It's just like you don't want to deal with that when you're playing a fucking video game.
Hold the options button.
Yeah. So, I mean, it even kind of goes back to the fucking PS2 and the iToy. I mean, I have a couple games for the iToy, which were a lot of fun, but sometimes that shit just gets out of control, and it's like, so like they had been working on this technology for a long time. I'm so happy that the newest VR got rid of them. It's all tracking in its own way, not this weird light. I mean, even even the
Not the glowy
the
bits.
PlayStation 4 VR is using light tracking like on its helmet. So
Yeah.
it's just not the best thing, and that's why they kept the price so far down, and I appreciate that. And it's a cool one of the cool Portland Retro Gaming Expo stories is that I got a pair of those for like $5 or $5 each. It was like $10 for
Yeah.
both, and then after VR came out, those things skyrocketed for the
The
cost.
only benefit of getting the new ones is the new ones use USB-C.
So
The lightning controller, whatever it is.
that's
Yeah.
that's my number one pick. Because it's a controller. My other lists, my other two on my list, I used but not a lot. But these controllers I used quite a bit and was frustrated a lot of the time. So
Mm.
I mean, and to the
I
point where I
gotcha.
would just use a controller for like games for the most part, unless I had to use the hand controls, because I would just rather use a regular controller and not be that immersive, just because it is going to work anyway. So that's it. Move controllers. There you go. That's our lists. Except Aaron finally joined us. Aaron, this was
Do
your.
you have a list?
I hope you have a list.
I do.
What was your topic?
I do.
So, but before you
It
get
was.
it, Aaron, because this was your topic, why was this a topic that you wanted to like talk about?
Well, the thing I thought about is we always talk about the best games, the worst games, the best systems, the worst systems, which in some cases it's the Nintendo that kind of gets our diarrhea of truth on it. But
Oh, we got diarrhea truth tonight.
Yep.
there's gonna be probably some more diarrhea coming from me. But anyway, no, it's like we always talk about the shitty consoles. We never really talk about the shitty controllers. For if we don't have those controllers, we have nothing fun to talk about. Like, oh my god, this freaking controller. I like the game, but why this controller? Why do they make us use this controller for this type of game? It's ridiculous. So I figured
Can
we'd give a
nostalgia
spotlight to the
hold a controller.
yes, and that's why I thought let's give up a list of our aggravating
All right.
controllers.
All right. Well, give
aggravating games.
us your list.
All right. So my I'm gonna do this as quick as I can because I kind of got on late. So my number three is actually kind of a PlayStation thing, but it's not the four or the five. It's the middle, the third one, where they introduced six-axis controller. I mean,
Oh,
don't get me
before I
wrong.
had weight.
Dude, you know
Yes,
what,
and
Aaron?
comfort.
I'm actually with you on this
What?
because when that before they actually because that when they launched that controller, it didn't have the rumble.
Yeah,
So the
Oh, yeah.
before the
controller
DualShock
felt
came out.
incredibly cheap and light.
Cheap and plastic, yes.
Yeah.
I almost added that
And,
one. Yeah.
and on top of that, the thing about it was the whole like there's only one game you could truly use a six-axis controller like to its fullest extent, and it was like game Layer. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that game. It's like the
Oh
Flying
yeah.
Dragon Simulator, and it's just it and the it ugh, God, it was like the only game that I fully used it, and I was just like it was like flying paper airplane after you threw it and you didn't have any controls. Like you feel like
I
a
loved playing Flower on my PS3.
see, I didn't I jumped in on PS4, but I think that's why I loved Flower because the controller was a lot more refined. And on top of that, it was just more comfortable. That controller felt like you're holding sticks for hours on it, like little pieces of like sticks. It was just like so
I
uncomfortable
thought you
after a
said
certain amount of
dicks.
Me too.
Aaron loves holding a controller of dicks. At this point
time.
in the night, he might hold
Deny.
all of our dicks. He's just like, fuck it, I don't care.
Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle.
What's
But
number
no,
two?
all right, so my number two actually belongs also to a move control, but not the PlayStation one, but the predecessor that started that one, the Wii U controller, the Wii controller. That I
Yeah.
fucking hate that thing because it was so clunky.
Yeah, that
Even
was on
after
my
they had
list.
that, even after the add-on controller thing, you had to buy an extra piece for an extra $40. Fuck you, Nintendo.
Yes,
Fuck you.
I'm with
They,
you.
they can. I don't understand why they didn't just make it good in the first one.
For some
And on
reason,
top of that,
I had a Wii so late, and I didn't. This controller, I don't have any kind of. I just know it as a gimmick controller. So when I play it, I just think of it as
Yeah,
a gimmick
novelty
controller,
controller,
novelty
yeah.
controller. So I don't really have this like I just always I guess in my brain I thought everyone loves the Nintendo Wii, and I think everyone loves that controller. So like when Jared like put it on his list, and now Aaron is just like, oh my god, what?
As the only owner of a Wii U, how was the Wii U controller?
Awesome.
Yeah.
see, the
It's-
Wii U
it's-
one makes sense though.
Nintendo backed out
a real
on one of the
controller.
greatest things of all time, and now Sony's like, oh, we can take it from here, Nintendo. We can do
And
it.
make it better.
Mhm.
No, that was my number. Yeah, that one was just it was garbage because it was like so clunky and just
Yeah.
so slow. Like you'd flick it one way and take like 5 seconds to realize you flicked it. It's like God damn it! And then
That was my
that
number
busting-
3.
that was you're more generous than I am. And then they had that piece we had to add on and make it more accurate. I'm like, well, come on,
The
guys, you
Wii
could do
Motion
this in the
Plus.
yes, you could have made this fucking just as good from the get go versus having to buy an extra thing. I know it's more money for them, but it's like yeah, so frustrating. But no, that's my number two. My number one is another Nintendo. What the
Yeah.
fuckery?
N64.
No, it's the
No.
next one, the
GameCube.
GameCube.
Yes.
That's Ian's.
GameCube. Fuck that. It is like the most. It's like okay, let's let a toddler put some pieces together, and we'll add some circuitry to it so it actually works. And here you go. What is this? It just reminds me of the Homer from The Simpsons, only in a controller form.
I honestly thought when I picked it, I thought I was gonna be in the only camp, and I was surprised that Dave had my back, and now Aaron has my back. I didn't realize there was hate for it.
I don't think
God, it's a-
Nintendo's made a good controller since the SNES.
I
That's
used the,
really
the
wasn't
wireless one, the
terrible.
Wavebird, the
I remember
GameCube
that thing.
Wavebird.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
one I used with the Wii all the time. And so
Yeah.
I
I'm
liked
sorry.
that one.
See, my problem with it is just it's such a amalgamation of buttons, like the Z somewhere and the X is a completely different area,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just
You've got to know all your axes. Come on.
Did a toddler make this? Did like someone's kid, was it bring your kid to work day and let them create the controller for the GameCube?
The directional
think it's
pad is so
Fuck.
fucking tiny. It's just like it's like for little mini hands.
I think it's
My
funny.
hand,
Ian's got all of these controllers
Yeah.
well, to be fair,
in
he did.
arms
It's his
reach.
museum.
Uh,
It's in his museum. But no, that was like that was like the biggest one that got stick in my head. Ironically, it's also the smallest controller because I could literally probably like palm the whole thing in my hand. How tiny that thing was, and it hurts playing with it. There was other ones, but that one just was the king of the crap for me.
All right.
Like I could not stand that goddamn controller.
Well, do
I'm
we
glad
have
it's
any?
gone.
Oh, sorry. Do we have any honorable mentions?
Any third-party controller
Any
for the
third party.
PlayStation 2 era? Remember those? Like you go
I
over
mean, I
and you'd
think
be
any
playing
third-party controller for
Tekken.
anything.
Yeah.
I have a
I mean,
PC.
they've got a lot better now, but back in the
Yes.
day, it was like if you played Tekken or whatever, if one of you had the third party controller, it was just like, oh, really?
I'm gonna
Like
go
the
with the
Well,
buttons
Mad
always
Cat.
felt shit, and the joypad was always a little off, and it
the one
always
I
felt
almost
like a brick in your hands.
Oh yeah. The one I always was almost added to my list was that old pad for the NES for like the uh
Oh
running
yeah,
games and stuff like that.
Oh,
Oh, I know
the
what
like the
you're talking
DDR
about.
pad, but the running pad. Yeah.
Yeah, but for
Oh,
running,
I
because
remember that. I kind of
none of
like
the
that thing
games
though.
were
That was fun.
realistic to where running at a normal pace would have won the race. You had to get on your hands and knees and like pound it as fast as you could with your hands, and you still wouldn't win.
have a temper tantrum.
Yeah, yeah,
I
pretty
also
much.
think
And people are
anything.
looking at you pounding on the floor like, what's going on?
I think any controller by Mad Cats as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what. Yes, especially the PlayStation 2 one. That one is so fucking jank. Like
I will.
you put it on its best setting.
I will say this. Like, I always, as a kid, wanted the Nintendo Advantage, or the NES Advantage controller, the joystick.
Yeah,
And I wanted it for so long, and then I never got it. And then when I finally got to play it, I think it's a pretty crap joystick.
yeah, I have one, and it's not great. You're so conditioned to playing Mario 3 or whatever, or Mario on the joypad,
But it's
that
just
when you
as
come
not
to do it
as-
on a joystick, it just doesn't.
But it also
It
just isn't
feels
as
wrong.
like poppy as other joysticks, like
No.
actual joysticks. It's very.
It's
just-
slidey, mushy
yeah,
kind of a
yeah.
weird-
It's
yeah.
not the same kind of. I don't know.
Maybe yeah, maybe
Did
the
anyone
springs were
ever
just
use
bad
the
on ones I
Max,
tried.
the other controller, the little round boomerang looking one?
Yeah, I didn't like the feeling of that either. It was like a joystick before joysticks were joysticks.
No, that wasn't a joystick though. That had that weird slidey button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
I've
mean,
heard of it, but I
that's
never played
a
with it.
precursor because yeah, you kind of slid and rolled around.
and apparently it was good for the hockey games, but
Oh, really?
that was about it.
That
Yeah.
doesn't. I
Like
didn't
Blades of
get on
Steel and ice hockey. So 2 games
No,
for the NES.
One thing I do miss is knowing what the top 2 buttons are, start and select. I miss that. Like, hit the start button, and my kids look at me like, huh? Oh, options
that?
button. And then they look at the Xbox controller. Option. What? What's the one? I don't even know what that button's called on Xbox. Or even the select button. What's that called on most controllers?
Well, on the
Share?
360, it's start and
Share
back.
and back.
It's
Is it
start
back?
start and back on Xbox 360.
Yeah, yeah. So it's. I miss start and select. I do.
Oh,
All
good.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else, we can get on to some couch co-optionals.
Did
Well-
we pick a winner for the beer?
Oh,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Nick to
The
win.
Battle of the
Beerstro?
I'm
Oktoberfest.
gonna say it's probably the Octo, but what are we going with?
Ooh,
We are
it's
going with
toughy.
the Octo.
Octo.
Yeah,
Ah,
Whitmer.
nice.
Whitmer wins, Aaron. Take it.
Yeah,
The big
take it.
corporate beer conglomerate beats out the little independent Portland
Just-
brewery.
I mean,
Classic American tale.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is a fine beer. There was just a little slight aftertaste that this just tastes a little bit more well balanced.
I can understand that. It was a little, I remember the one time I had it. It definitely tastes like an Oktoberfest beer should. but the other one had to me a little more flavor, and it didn't feel so like I don't know. I like. I mean, I've had them before. That's why I say that. I didn't have any tonight. Obviously, I went with the fresh hop from Mazama, but
I like the
um,
smell of Oktoberfest beers.
they do
Yes.
have a decent smell. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's it is such a good. They're really nice.
Definitely a lot better than their other fall cousin, the pumpkin ales, which I think have finally
Yes.
kind
Oh
of
my
falling out
God.
of, which have finally fallen out of favor, and
Darn.
because I
I
don't see a
can't
lot
do
of them
pumpkin
anymore.
beers. The only one I see is
Yeah.
Elysian Night Owl, and that's
Elysian.
about really it.
Yeah, they get like their 12-pack mix pack every year now.
Full pack,
Yep.
mix pack of pumpkin spice beers.
Like
It's give me
four
a
different
fucking
types.
break, dude. How you guys have like 4 different beers all with pumpkin in them?
They
Go
cornered
away.
the
I found a
market,
way,
I
Ian. I
Go
found a way.
away. and then they're just around all year because like no one can get rid of them. So like Winco
Yeah.
is selling their 12 packs for like $8.99 and no one wants to buy it because no one likes pumpkin beers.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Anyway. All right. Couch Co. Wait. Aaron,
Mm.
do you have a
Yes.
mobile minute?
Not yet. I've been playing a game I'm gonna talk about next week. We all know what we're talking about
All
because
right,
we're
all right.
all
He
playing
wants
it.
more
I'm
time
actually
for
gonna,
it. He wants more time for it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you know what I'm gonna talk
Oh,
about.
I know,
though,
because
so,
we all want to talk about it too, but we'll wait.
yeah.
All right, let's do some couch co-optionals. Jared, kick it off.
I've already mentioned it was coming out, but I've watched all but the last couple of episodes of Castlevania Nocturne, and it is awesome.
Nice.
All right, there you go. Netflix. Dave, what you got?
I watched the first 3 Expendables movies again this week, and I really enjoyed them.
In
They were-
preparation for 4?
Did you
Jeez.
count the bullets?
No, I didn't, but
That'd be too many to count.
I must admit, it didn't like the action was like meh. It was all the cameos and all the people in them
Yeah.
it just made it for me, if you know what I mean.
All right,
So
cool. Expendables. But you're getting ready to go see the 4th one here pretty soon. Is that why?
probably not.
No.
They just noticed they were on Netflix, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen those movies for a while. So
Cool. Awesome. All right, Nick DeWin, what you got?
Count Chocula is available in stores right now.
Ooh, that's like my favorite, like fall.
It's a
Halloween
chocolate
themed.
and marshmallow cereal.
I don't remember ever having it. I should buy a box this year.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes, you
I've
should.
gotten it a couple times, and it's good. I love it too.
And it's funny in grocery stores that the only cereals to ever go on sale are the garbage ones that are loaded with sugar.
Worth it.
I mean,
That's
cornflakes.
the only
Uh,
ones.
Worth it.
And there's Boo Berry and the Frankenberry. I mean, those
Frankenberry,
are
yes.
straight up garbage. But
There's
they
a
also have a
fourth
new
one too.
There's a new one. Yeah, it's like cinnamon something. I mean, that one also belongs in the trash too. Count Chocula is the only
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Count Chocula is the only
Respect.
one.
Count
Everything
Chocula
else,
ruled them
just-
all.
Straight
Respect.
garbage.
All right,
Yes.
Aaron, what you got?
All right. So the other day I was at a grocery outlet and I found one of my favorite
Bargain
condiments.
Market.
Right.
Gotta
This
sing the
one of-
jingle, Aaron.
You kind of have to, the bargain market. But so I was in there, I wanted to check it out, and I found a hot sauce. It's called Truff. It's like a black truffle infused hot sauce.
oh, I've seen that
Oh
stuff
my-
around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually super expensive. I found like a 6-ounce bottle for like $11. I mean, sure, it's a little bougie, but it is. Oh my God, I should have bought a couple bottles, but it's so good. I recommend it to anybody who likes hot sauce. There's chili heads out there, I'm pretty sure, and
Oh,
it's
I love
not
hot
too
sauce. I love hot. I like hot sauce. Hot sauce.
hot. Okay, it has a bit of heat, but it's more flavorful because that truffles,
Cool.
and it has a bit of a garlic hit to it too.
Alright.
So it's
Cool.
recommend it. Can't get it if you can find it, of course. Get it if you can find it.
Look forward to it. All right. I'll just
Is
come
it
over
good
to
on
your.
its own?
I'll just come over to your place.
Come on by. We're down. Down for visitors. Come on down.
Yeah. All right, John. What do you got for us?
I recommend U-Haul for all your moving endeavors. I had to
Yes.
drive a 20-foot truck with a trailer.
Dude, okay,
For
wait.
my-
Like, pause for a second.
Hold on,
So
hold
here's
on.
a cool thing. So Jared and I helped him move. And
Yes.
this is a throwback to Aaron. So like we unpack
Yes.
everything and then we're like getting ready to take the truck back. And he's like, "Oh, we got to clean out the cab." And so like, okay, so he pulls some stuff out and then I go in there to get his stuff. And it's just like it's a stack of towels and like a group of socks. And I'm like, "Why is it like fucking Aaron's bathroom in here? Like what the fuck is this about, John?" Oh, and there was a bottle of Jergens. I'm not shitting you. This is 100% fact. Like, what the fuck is he doing from Vegas to Portland? He's just jerking off the entire way.
Jergens off.
Did.
Jergens off. Anyway, John, go
Oh
ahead.
my god.
This ad brought to you by U-Haul. Anyway,
Anyway.
But yeah, it's I mean, it was stressful having to use having to have the trailer attached to it, but I mean, it's super easy to
Well,
load the
apparently
car
you had
on
some
it.
stress relief, so
Yeah, I had a lot of stress relief.
So my
Talk to
my
me.
experience moving with a truck company out of a different state, I used a Penske truck once, and they had recently retreaded the rear tires, so the whole way back was just vibration because the tire treads were so jacked from being retreaded.
Man.
It was
Oh
bad.
man.
it's kind of crazy though that you can pack your whole life into a truck and then just go somewhere
Yeah.
else, right?
Yeah.
You ever
I mean,
think
you
about
can throw
that?
your whole life in a dumpster. What's the?
I know, but
you
like, isn't it kind of like kind of crazy sometimes? It's like, we gotta go move, and we're just gonna put my whole life in this truck. Like,
I'm just
Yeah.
glad we didn't get a 26-foot truck. That would have really sucked.
Especially going state borders.
well, we
Jeez,
appreciate
yeah.
that you're home now, John. Like, like half of the couch is in Vancouver now, so like Vancouver power,
We got
baby,
veto power, baby.
baby, veto power. Anyway, it's very exciting. In fact, John and I hung out yesterday. I kind of showed him around uptown, and we had beers. It was a good time.
let's go to the Sasquatch.
We did go to Sasquatch.
Let's go.
Nice.
That was a nice little bar. I'll give it that much.
I
Which
like
one
their
was
pizza.
Sasquatch?
That was
The
the
Hungry
second
Sasquatch
spot we
pizza
went
joint.
through.
Oh, okay.
Anywho, all right. What? I was gonna pick something. Now I'm just totally. Oh no, I know what it is. Hey guys, if you're looking for a used car, you can't buy mine, but you guys should buy 100% a 1988 Toyota Corolla FX. It's probably the greatest car you'll ever own. You can drive it literally to the brink of death. Like it could have no oil in it, and it'll still like drive from Olympia down to back to Portland and not seize up on you because it's made by the Japanese engineering of that car is so on point that it's just designed not to die. And so if you can find one for super cheap, it's totally worth the purchase.
Yeah.
Because
As part owner in one, I have to second that opinion.
because I drove it Saturday morning. I went down to my aunt to visit my aunt, and it's just such a joy to drive. It's just a wonderful little vehicle, and it's always a smile on my face. You turn out the stereo, and people either are pissed off at you or tuners are like super happy and they like rev their engines. And I mean, I can't race like a 2015 Subaru WRX, but they'll come up, they'll rev their engines and then peel off, like thinking that I'm like gonna, I don't know, have like some turbo. I don't have a turbo. I can't do anything. But like, yeah, it's cool that you're very happy. I enjoy the camaraderie. But I'm just gonna sit here at 70 miles an hour and just sit here. You know what's crazy? Also, like I'm doing 70 in the slow lane. You know, that's what happened to the world. I don't know. It's just crazy in my estimation. Like, but whatever. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Buy yourself a shitty car that you fall in love with. I don't know if we've ever talked about that before. So that's my recommendation tonight.
I think it's first.
All right. Anything else? Anybody else want to say anything before we get out of here? No.
I love you all.
I love you all. Aw, Couch Co-op, the Love Seat edition.
Couch Co-Heart.
Couch Co-op.
Aw.
Oh.
All right. All right. Well, Jared's not here, but he will be at some point. Maybe I don't know. He must
He's
have taken
assembling his news for next
He
week.
probably had to take a massive piss because he's just he's got that fridge of beer now. And he just like drinks it nonstop.
That's right.
Put a
And
urinal
then a
in that
massive
place.
dump.
Yeah, he just needs to put a toilet right next to it.
Or just
You
skip
could
it on, get a bedpan. Just saying.
Podcast from the throne, you know.
Yeah, right.
I'd say
Well,
get a bedpan, but you know.
I've done that for different reasons, but
I
sorry,
want to thank
Kelsey.
all of you for listening and remind you to leave feedback at
We'll get there.
thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. That's all one word, no hyphen. Or find us on our socials at Couch Co-op Shows. It's also, Aaron.
Yes.
That's
All one word, no hyphen.
There you go. There we go. There we go.
I
know it's been a while.
been
Usually I
rusty.
say it, and I'm like, I'm putting you on the spot. It's like, it's like a glove though. It'll fit.
It's there.
I want to thank Jared, Dave, Nick, Aaron, and John for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Wow, that.
Italians are wild.
Yeah.